So this is going to be the last time I talk about the black pill and Looksmaxxing. The way I see it is that they are two sides to the same coin and they are both very misguided. The last video I made was very interesting. It had a lot of community engagement. Quite a few comments from black pillars, which was interesting. It gave me a lot of insight into the way they think. So I'm making this video because the black pill and Looksmaxxing deserves its due diligence on the topic. And that's because so many people suffer because of this ideology that your looks determine your destiny, which I think is absolute falsehood.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
So in my last video, I made fun of Austin Wayne. Look at these thumbnails. Guys, when I actually look at his channel, I genuinely laugh out loud looking at these thumbnails, looking at these videos. I just think to myself, like, how can somebody seriously upload these videos and think, yup, that's cool. The guys will like this. And actually, I got a really interesting comment from Seafoam. She said, Austin's content seems like it would appeal to people who like to live vicariously through others, which means like a black pillar or like some naive kid will see the content and go, yeah, Austin, you're so cool, man. Man, I wish I was like that, and I could log random people. Guys, like, I'm just editing the video. Hold on, let me make sure I look Looksmaxxed. I'm editing the video, and like, I read these comments, and like, I just laugh out loud. Like, I just laugh out loud. It's empty. It's empty. There's no mana. I'm from New Zealand. You know what mana is? Mana is like the industry. There's no mana. There's no power. It's fake. Little kids. Oh wow, Austin. What? I was like I actually like lol. I am lolling at this guy, man. Holy schmoly moly. So that was interesting, but Austin Wayne is an illusion. It's a shell. You see, with the books I've read, like the Laws of Human Nature, so people wear masks, and the adult that we become is often to protect the inner child. Now, to try and display extreme confidence, to really try and show off his beauty, it actually points to me as someone being deeply insecure, as exemplified by Robert Greene and this quote right here. So Looksmaxxing is an illusion. Now, is it because I have been born handsome or as a Chad that I can see through the illusion? No, it's not because of that. It's because I have discernment, okay? Hey guys, I'm Austin Wayne. I'm handsome. Oh, and I'm handsome, and I can teach you how to be handsome. Oh, hi guys, look how handsome I am. You see, whenever I begin to catch myself, like if I'm looking at myself, like on like a video call, I just stare at myself. I start to think to myself, damn, I look so good. It's okay sometimes, but I try and immediately stop myself because I understand. Well, first of all, nobody fucking cares. Second of all, there's no power in being so self-centered. You are actually less powerful the more self-centered you are. These are the things that you learn from this book, any book on communication and like influence and persuasion tells you that the more self-centered you are, the less powerful you are. And my name is Life Max King, and most people probably don't know what that means. But to me it means living a fulfilling and joyful life. And you don't get there by being narcissistic. You don't get there by being self-centered, by being vain, by prioritizing your looks. You just don't get there like that. I think that the problem with most black pillars isn't that they're born ugly. It's that they're very, very poorly socially calibrated. Now, I reflect back to when I was 10 years old, even as a very young boy. I always had this degree of self-consciousness, this empathy, this sensitivity towards other people and how they perceived me. And with that, I naturally gravitated to thinking about the kind of clothes I wore, just the way I looked. And I realized that I have always been Looksmaxxing because I have always had that sensitivity towards other people. And what I noticed just in life and through the various amounts of friends I have is that people that don't seem to care about the way they look, that people that don't care about the clothes that they wear, like, oh, I don't care, that those people tend to be more socially obtuse. This is just an observation I've had. Because I think to have good style, having like a good sense of style, means that you're very aware of the culture that you live in. You're very aware at perceiving the trends, just the sensitivities of a social culture. And with the Looksmaxxers, there was one comment that gave it away. Yes. So this comment here says, "Some people need to Looksmaxx. I wish I had this information 20 years ago," which is very surprising to me. It's surprising to me that there's so many people out there that don't already have that sense on how people perceive them. To me, it's very, very obvious. But I guess to a lot, it's not obvious, and maybe that's where the information is needed. But the problem is, and this is where the cycle begins, is that the black pillars are so poorly socially calibrated. They become more isolated, more awkward, and they become chronically online, which is a massive problem. I bet 99% of the black pillars are chronically online, jerk off every day, don't go out in nature, don't do any sport, don't read any books, they fill their minds with garbage, with more things to be sad about. Thus, the cycle continues. They become more socially isolated, more poorly socially calibrated. People start treating them even worse. They become even more bitter. They start a black pill channel. They consume more black pill content, and on and on and on it goes. Black pillars, what I'm trying to do with this content is that I want you just to go into metacognition and to realize that the stuff that you consume and that you do in your day life makes you feel worse. You're filling your mind up with garbage. One of the really cool things about being a human being is that we get to control how we feel. We get to control our behavior. We don't get to control 99.99% of what happens, right? In this complex universe, we have no choice. But in this meat suit, which we control, and this little ghost which is inside of us, we get to control how that ghost feels, right? Boom, we can just become joyful and happy, just like that. But the second part of this is that we get to program ourselves, program our paradigm. Now, what happens when you continually consume defeatist content? You begin to embody this defeatist attitude, which women, with their intuitive brains, will especially pick up on, and you even become even more isolated. Now, what's some things you can do to reverse this? Boom, boom, boom. Many books, many podcasts. Just think about what you're consuming and how this makes you feel. Even if you still really believe the black pill ideology, do you really want to live a life of despair and bitterness? Or do you just want to live a life where you can at least be joyful? Think about it, guys. If this doesn't make any sense to you, at least let it plant a seed. At least let it plant a seed. So yeah, guys, like according to some people, and like as I've hopefully shown with Austin Wayne, that people think, oh, you're born handsome, your life's easy. How the fuck does that work? Attraction is not about looks. You guys know Tony Soprano from The Sopranos? Okay, people have been making, recently it's been kind of blowing up, and people make TikToks. It's like a girl saying, oh my god, Tony Soprano is so hot. And Tony Soprano is not Looksmaxxed. The thing about Tony Soprano is he's powerful. If you black pillars want real advice on attraction, then go and watch Home Math. Okay, he explains, it's not like looks is just one part of the equation. It's more like power is the real equation. It's the ability to be powerful, which is the real attraction mechanism. Right? Looks is just one part. It's just one part of that equation. If my life was so easy because I was born a certain way, then why would I go out of my way to seek spirituality, to seek self-help? Like, it takes a certain amount of cowardice to say, it's over, bro, my life's shit, and then you go consume your defeatist black pill content, and then you say, oh, it's over, bro, I don't need to try hard, self-improve, nothing, I'll just go goon some more. It's over, bro, I'll get my VR headset, join the Gooniverse, it's over, bro. Do you know that there are corporations that profit off you being a loser? That profit off your despair and your sadness? Don't let them win. There is a silver lining. And if you guys made it this far, I'm very impressed. There's a silver lining. There has never ever been a great or influential man or woman that hasn't had to suffer, that hasn't had to go through a lot of pain. Okay, when you pray to God for strength, He gives you challenges. I believe that a lot of these black pillars have got deep realizations to go through, and to realize, joy comes from within. That the inner work is the real and most important work that can be done. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. I'm not talking about this subject again. I don't want to be associated. I don't even want to be associated with Looksmaxxing. This is why I changed my name from Lifemaxxing to Meditations. Because Lifemaxxing is associated with this vainness, with this showness. And that is not what I am about. But subscribe and like the video. Thanks. Bye.